We're live. Right on time. Don't ever say I'm late ever again, I swear to God. Oof. Alright. Start here. Just finish that shivers check. Said northeast of the failed building, right? I get there. Far northeast. Well, we'll check the mural while we're here at least. Oh, Mr. Halberstrand. Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. Something's wrong with my throat. You see a once bright mural towering above you. The sign just peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. Slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says tomorrow is just a whisper away. Step closer. Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall. The coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. Feld Electrical. You only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. Looks like they used to be big. Something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first. But I feel like I know this place. Indeed, somehow you knew it was here. An urban ruin gutted by looters that once used to consume money and dispense warmth and light. You felt it before, when it rained in matinees and you felt the cold of the rain. The feeling persists. It's been in you ever since. Could Ruby be in there? In there? She could. Or, with 10 points behind you, she could be in the identical ruin over there, or in that boat shack, in that church tower, maybe. Wow, that is a real shivers check right there. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back to this. Actually, I'll change my drip, then we'll see if that works. But I'm looking for a suspect. Have you seen anyone suspicious around? No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here. He packed his son's head. So you haven't seen anyone around? No, I'm sorry. As I said, it's just a day off. We just arrived anyway. Changing drip like changing wait, oh yeah. There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off. I love how the way I voice the characters, it never correlates with how the game describes them talking. I just do what I want. Change my jacket. Kind of like the other jacket anyway. I don't know why. Super logical for a cop to wear this. Oh my god. I was wondering why that gives you logic. Yeah, there's a lot of ones that increase shivers, I think. Make sure it's not being lowered by anything. Okay, shivers 8. This should do it. Ooh. You know, it's a white check. We'll try it. Shit. Every time. Suddenly, all is quiet. There's no cold hand brushing against your forehead. There's no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down or gone behind a corner. You only hear distant waves washing the coast. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb. What was I even attempting to do here? Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen didn't. And now you're just standing there with your hands falling to your side. Yeah, she could be anywhere. How do we find her? How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Lieutenant sighs and gets a hold of himself. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. I've already talked to the cryptozoologist. He looks to his right. Working with them might give us a good excuse to run around and give us some structure. Then there's the church. He looks at the bell tower. If I were a murder suspect, I would not hide in the most prominent building here, but who knows? Maybe she's reckless. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector, go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. And if that fails, if we don't find her, and if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drain into this place. I'm sure it won't come to that. He looks behind him at the dark red box crumbling across the chasm. Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. Buckle up and raise your collar. The search is going to be wet and cold. Yeah. Well. That's quite a monumental check to make. Okay, how the frick do I go northeast of this building? Because I'm pretty sure that may not be possible. Unless I have to go northwest first and then loop around. So we're going back down. Well, because most of the paths are blocked off. I don't quite know how else to get to them. No, this path is blocked off too. These are all just okay, dead end. What do I do? New plan. Maybe if I hold these, give me new options. Oh, the color of those change. Hold on. I'm onto something here. Hey. Free drugs. Can't get out of the way. You will not stop me from getting drugs. And money. Oh, $5 whole. Oh, I'm rich. Okay, maybe these things will help me up here. Yes. Yes. What do I do? I don't know, Harry. Running around aimlessly like an idiot seems to work for you. Don't call me Harry. Excuse you. Let me time you out. I'll do that. I don't care if you're my only mod. Oh, the dead guy's gone. And they fixed the boardwalk. That's tough. Okay, well that's a postcard. That didn't help. Okay, well. I am no closer to achieving my goals. Wait, actually, there might be a path up there. Rock. Money. Ah, the unopenable door. Never mind. Ah, bingo. This trap's not too hard to spot once you know what to look for. Keeping it hidden has not been a priority for the cryptozoologist. Look around. The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. The wind picks up here near the cape's end, surrounding the narrow strip of land from 3 cardinal directions. It's cold for this time of year. Reach for the trap. Nothing but locusts in this trap as well. Definitely no cryptozoological monstrosity. Empty as all of them, he pants. One more of these and we're done. His face is red from the cold sea air. He crouches to catch his breath. You getting tired? No, I'm fine. I didn't mean to complain. It's just, he's short-winded. The sentence ends there. Can't keep up. Come on, boy. Campfire. No, Ruby's definitely not here. Are we gonna send them on to the pear wiggler? What the fuck's the pear wiggler? What are you talking about? I don't know if I want to know what the pear wiggler is. Anyone else here? Someone's supposed to be here, doesn't she? I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait later. Near the canal you cross southeast of the village, okay. I assume that canal is the water lock. Okay, I should probably not be running around with this in my hands. Wait, hold on a sec. What about you two? Ah, there it is. Takes a moment, but finally you spot the last of Morel's traps, this one partially obscured by the reeds. reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. You see slabs of concrete north. In the east, the city center hums to you. Constant distant song, louder on this part of the coast. Nearer somehow, and there's that cold again. Always the cold. Reach for the trap. The trap feels light and silent as you pick it up. Something is different here. Come closer. No locusts. No phasmid either, but still. A little closer still. The lieutenant studies the trap with you. Well, the bait worked on something. This doesn't mean it was a reed monster, though, unless you see one in there. I just see an empty trap. The netting's a little untidy, messier than the others. Like someone or something picked up the trap and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground. I do get the feeling that somewhere something may have messed with the trap. He pursed his lips. Perhaps a cryptozoologist had competition in the form of an actual entomologist? Or someone else is sabotaging them? I could present more theories, but then I would be taking this on as a case, which I'm not. Yeah, it probably wasn't the phasmid, but still. Well, actually no. You're right, but I still need to tell the cryptozoologist about this. Okay, but after that we get back to our own assignments. We've done a thorough survey of the coast now. Just running around is no longer useful. A cold gust of air dries your sweaty face and you look to the dark shadow of the felled building in the distance, drawing you to it. A strange sensation. Once this is done, should you ask the wind again? Oh, hopefully this gives me a modifier then. Nice. Actually, I think if I get the contact mic thought, I can redo that one. I think this, where is it? Where did I already get it? No, here it is. Yeah, I think this one unlocks all the physical checks. Oh, that's kind of a small thing to take up a whole skill check for, and I kind of want this actually. Yeah, I might get this next. Okay, now he should be in the whirling. Ooh, hang on. Alright, I'm just carrying this with me. Who cares how it looks? I need to break shit open. Ooh. Yeah, I should probably figure out how the fuck these things work. There we are. There's Gary again. It's great to see you again, officer. He grins, bowing awkwardly. My wife can't wait to thank you. Go on, talk to her. Ah, sweetie, she says, beaming. I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you. Just doing my job, man. Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. Ooh. She hands you a thin ribbon held together by a silver bird skull. It's a tie, Mexican origin. The pin is an antique, quite special. A little silvery knot holding it tied together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes. You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important. Is this bird a cryptid? No, her eyes narrow mysteriously. It's the cryptid. Wow, the cryptid? Oh yes. The small silvery skull shines between your fingers, its beak sharp. I thought the phasmid was the cryptid. Okay, what is this bird? The 8-eyed teratorn, the largest flying avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of 11.5 meters. It was thought to have gone extinct 3,500 years ago. Some even doubted the fossils were real. A mutation, they said. Until... Mutation. The man scoffs. All of evolution is a mutation. Until it was cited by renowned Gottwaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Pattenkalk in 21. This renowned bit seems a bit dubious. Your own catalog comes up completely empty, but of course you're not all-knowing. Let me hear about this sighting. It happened on a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Uamrau Canyon in southeast Ilmaro. Dr. Plattenkalk got separated from his group during a sandstorm. Okay, and Umrau is the world's largest canyon system, sweetie. It's a barren waste east of the Urg Desert, an ancient riverbed completely dried up. What happened? Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years since the fall of the Pericarnassus. Also, I'm going to put another point into shivers. Just gonna get that out of the way. Next level up, we'll internalize the fair weather thought, because that's actually going to be important for something very specific. Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years since the fall of Pericarnassus. He was lost, without any navigation equipment, and desperately low on water. After a day or two, he noticed a bird high in the noon sky, a great black bird. It seemed gargantuan. Wait, he was a day or two without water, and he saw a giant bird? Yeah, it couldn't be a hallucination, no. Every now and then, the bird would dive down to feed on an animal carcass somewhere on the horizon. By the time Uwe got there, the territory had taken off already. The carcass was picked clean. This happened many times. Eat the bird, Uwe. It's the only way to survive. Oh, I think he hit the birds. It followed him? Or like he followed it. A bird that big has many liters of blood in it, and he was dying of thirst. For many days, Dr. Plattenkalk followed the territory until he reached a great canyon wall where the bird finally landed to rest. Wait, he was following it to drink its blood? I don't think blood is very hydrating, is it? Unless you're a vampire. Is he a vampire? Is he like another cryptid? The professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with its head tucked under its wing, a great black pile of feathers on the perch, so he approached, slowly squeezing the rock in his fist. When the Territorn suddenly looked at him, he could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on either side of its skull, like a spider. The man couldn't move. He was paralyzed, frozen into place with the rock in his hand. Whatever he did, he could not get close to the bird. Why? The bird was controlling his mind. It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uwe spent 3 days trying until the bird flew away. So he spent that long without food or water? Are you kidding me? Hold on, how do you survive to tell a story? The 8-eyed Territorn was indifferent to him as long as he didn't get closer than 2 steps. He even let him feed on some carcasses up there and the 2 unfertilized eggs it left behind. The answer is no. Yeah, I thought so. I'm pretty sure there's no water content in your blood. At least not a... I don't know, man. That's just... I'm not a phlebotomist. An 8-eyed mind-controlling bird? Come on. Yes way, sweetie, she smiles, used to derision. Cryptozoologists have been tracing it ever since, but Uamrau is vast, mysterious, and holds many secrets. It's the iron, okay. Modern radar telemetry shows great promise. We will confirm this one, by the end of the decade latest. This one I like, the lieutenant puts down his notes. Not only does it have 8 eyes and is a living fossil, and the largest bird to ever live, it also does mind control. So that was the last anyone saw of it? Sadly, yes, but there are numerous reports of 8-eyed bird skulls from Ilmara. And there's the striking resemblance to the Pericarnassium imperial eagle, an ancient heraldic symbol that's hard to pass off as a coincidence. The imperial eagle, too, had 8 eyes. Very, very hard. This one's very famous. Everyone knows it. People be looking at that tie on you and thinking, this man is into cryptids. She winks. So, what else do you want to know? Nothing else. Ooh, that's actually really nice. But then I'd be giving up my horrific necktie. Gary! I want to talk to you again. Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law. And singular. I mean, he turns towards officers, yeah. Oh, what? There's nothing else I can say? Ooh. Ooh, I might get something here, actually. Are you a cryptozoologist too? No, I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way, but I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own. What does he do, then? This feels like a good opportunity to dominate them. What do you do, then, if not cryptozoology? This and that. He grins. Sounds shady. Officer, I would never. I just didn't want to bore you with unnecessary detail. I work as a special courier. You know, urgent deliveries, overnight deliveries, deliveries to out-of-the-way locations. So you deliver things. What kinds of things? I don't know the contents, officer. Part of my job is discretion. He's trying too hard to seem untroubled by your question. The rigidity in his posture gives him away. Do you deliver drugs? No, that's far too dangerous. Besides, dealing drugs is for people like me and you, officer. What do you mean? Everything this guy says is sus. Do you deliver guns? No, nothing like that. I leave that to companies with hundreds of years of tradition in arms manufacturing. No need for an amateur like me cutting in. Do you deliver letters to the secret mistresses of corporate and government officials? What do I look like, a pansy? Besides, that kind of cavorting goes against the community values that would strengthen our city. You're a simple cop asking a simple question. You can't beat around the bush much longer. Come on, you've already behaved suspiciously with the trash container business. Stop evading this question. Okay, fine, you've got me. I'm a special topping pie delivery courier. What? You heard me. I deliver topping pies. It's temporary. I'm looking for another job. Not many jobs for good men out there these days. You said you deliver special topping pies. What makes these topping pies special? They're wheat-free and vegan and huge. He pauses. That's basically it. I'm a pie delivery man. How about we change the subject? I'm satisfied. Are you satisfied? Because I am. Ah, shit. Oh, I think I failed it. Hold on. I was trying to see if I could get the topping pie from Gary. Yeah, I failed the last passive skill check. Shit. Okay, I might be able to retry it if I, yeah. Endurance over 6. Yeah, I just need a couple more points in it. I think if I do this again, I could probably... Yeah. Okay, yeah, it didn't back me out of that. Alright, I might be able to do that again later. Or not. I mean, I tried that with the volition check earlier and it didn't work, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I borked it. Nothing like the gratitude of a good woman. What can I do for you? He gives you a gruff pat on the shoulder. Tries to play it cool, remain professional, but inside that man is itching for some news on those traps. So I checked all the traps. Good, okay. He breaks his calm. And? One of them was empty. Completely empty. The cryptozoologist's eyes grow wide. Surprise, tempered with fear and trepidation. He doesn't know what to think yet. Maybe you're joking. Yeah, there was nothing in the trap. No locust, no phasmid. No locust, but no phasmid either. It's not ideal, but... The old woman's face lights up. It just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought. Of course, the detective whispers to himself. More clever. Yes, the Phantasmodea picked off the locust and escaped. This is good news. They will have to reconsider the design of the traps, make them more secure. His companion sighs. Another trip to the reeds. I don't know, I'm unpersuaded. Why don't you try convincing Morelli's hypothesis is invalid? He scowls. Thank you for the vote of no confidence, Gary. An officer, I appreciate your concern, but please leave this to the experts, unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture. You're jabbing at the soft underbelly of his psyche. He realizes he's gotten defensive. Actually, no. His tone changes. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You helped us twice now and brought us some great news, too. My gratitude and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Revachol is yours. Heartfelt gratitude, but does it feel like closure? What really happened? Thank you, it's an honor, he says with a straight face, then turns to you. Should probably return to our main investigation here. It has been refreshing, but... Helping cryptozoologists isn't really a priority for our organization, is it? Lieutenant looks out the window impatiently. Well, depending on how well I do on this interfacing check, it's gonna be... Hang on a second, actually. We need the gloves. The gloves. I don't know why this is an interfacing check. Also, I don't know why the fact that Kuno is a hooligan gives me a modifier to this. Some of the modifiers for this are very strange. For these skill checks are very strange. Develop an alternative theory about the missing locusts. Actually, I'm not going to do this yet. I think it's actually, you can accidentally advance this quest too far, and then I can't try the topic pie quest again. Alright, what else do we need to do? Alright, yeah, we'll talk about where the shot came from. Get the map from the bookstore. You broke down the back door? She looks very sad, resigned even. The wards, the door, it's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leaking into my shop. Sometimes it's necessary to resort to extreme measures. I suppose it's all over now? Her shoulders slump as if a heavy burden lies in them. Guess there's no escape. What are you talking about? It's just a door. Just a door? This place is cursed, Detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I think their first mistake was calling it the doomed commercial area. You know? It's like the Titanic too. It's like... I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now you've broken the door. The curse is coming to get me as well. She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something to her pendant. Host Almighty, she prays, guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the door. Blessed be your name. Oh, sorry, I didn't know about the curse. Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. She shrugs, visibly dejected. Alright, you know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We're set on the path. There's little else to do. Her facade has dropped. Now you see the curiosity behind the fear. But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity? Her eyes narrow as she whispers the name. The entity? No, I don't think so. Yes, the malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably. I suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her. The chimney that's part of the central furnace? I heard voices coming from there. Yes, I've heard that it's enormous. She's barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. She shivers. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you talk to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. If you're really interested in cracking this mystery, then maybe we should go back to the furnace. Maybe you could yell into it or something, make some noise. You'll think of something. You always do. The spy is cool. The lieutenant's interested in solving this mystery too. Curse. Please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits. How does this curse manifest itself? The curse is so much worse than you can imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. A shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store. It's the curse of financial distress. Her voice drops to a whisper of ruin and bankruptcy. She peers at the curtains again. Didn't that curtain just move? Wait, that's it? I'm hoping for something more paranatural. But obviously, there's nothing natural about entire companies declaring bankruptcy. I'm talking about caco demons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence as if it's unwanted here. Sounds familiar. Don't mention it. She nudges her glasses, anxious and tense. Why didn't you just tell me right away it's the curse? It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism. She shivers. It's dangerous. Talking about the void's wraith angers them. I think she has a high shiver stat. Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up. You sought help from anyone? Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Semines mediators. They provided me with the wards. She nods at the strange cage-like trinket on the curtains. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough. Is your pendant part of the wards as well? This, she holds the pendant in her palm. Its ochre heart glistens under the lights. No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. She nods. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%. About the wards on the back door, are these Semines as well? Yes, the Semines are very crafty and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards simply won't do here. Hold on, wait. See if I can buy the map first. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to steal it. Oh yes, 90 cents. Yeah, let me just look for this a little bit. So I don't know how to get the Dick Mullen book. It's supposed to be on that shelf. Don't know, just don't know how. Sorry, I blanked out for a sec there. Wonderful board game, sir. The Viticulturalist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulindi. Very educational game for those interested in geography. Ralbert is a fun game of economic competition, but it can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children. Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family? Do I have friends? Are you actually friends or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance? Yes, kids, friends, chicks, I have all of those. And you're a lucky man, officer. Children are the greatest of treasures. She fiddles with her pendant thinking. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilian building game where you build a civilization and set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 riel. Yeah, why not? Play it later. Wonderful choice, sir. She smiles at you. A wholesome family game. Not right now, but later. can I actually use this thing? The worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez, with directions to the appropriately touristy locations. Year 48 resides in the upper right corner. Trace path through the grid. Your finger moves to the various streets across Rue de Saint Ghislaine and Rue Saint Cispar over Saint Brune and Martinez north. Finally coming to a halt in the spot where you're currently standing, although the map gives no such indication itself. Excellent. Yeah, this makes it so much easier. Wow, okay. Why is there a giant egg? Is that the Wompty Center? Why is there? Where's the Ferris wheel? Huh? Okay, well this is this isn't as useful as I thought it would be. Have the map extrapolate the radius to include all of Martinez. According to your map of the district, the shot could have come from a wide angle of locations, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay. Let's call them B prime. More precisely, B for boardwalk, B for Land's End, and B for the islet. Islet? Detective. There may be smaller points in between, but those are too fine to zoom in on. Point B, the boardwalk. $700 away. The likeliest of these B positions is 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At that instance, the perpetrator would have had to take wind direction into account. About the Land's End. 1.2 kilometers away. The least likely of these positions, let's say 3%. Truly skilled sniper could have done it, possibly from a tent? No, too far-fetched. The islet? 1 kilometer away, a point beyond the docks, on an islet in the bay. The fort is ruined, but the perpetrator may have found a stable spot on the beach surrounding it. The concrete crumbles into the sea as you saw in the coin-operated viewer. A shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood. There is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window, between Rue Saint Ghislaine and 10 and 33A. The angle would have been extreme and access to the islet is questionable. Kim, do you think the shot could have come from further than the roof in Martinez? From where precisely? Let's say B prime, the boardwalk, B double prime, Land's End, and B triple prime, the islet. See, you've given this a lot of thought here, Marks, raising an eyebrow. Are those locations you've singled out in addition to the roof? And what's the likelihood, in your opinion, that it came from a further distance? Much less than from the roof, but still. Okay, well we should see if there's gunshot residue or sniper nests if we go down the coast. Rule these spots out one by one. Be the diligent thing to do. Until then, personally, I'm going with the roof version. A simple hypothesis can be wrong, but it's something to build on. Hang on. It's okay. 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 Yeah. It's just the same things. Blink. Oh boy. Actually, hold on. Look at that again.
So it kind of vaguely correlates to where we're supposed to go. So yeah, that's the
Boardwalk way up in Land's End over here, and then the islet over there. But
I'm not gonna get over there.
I get a boat. We'll go back in the Doom commercial area. Oh, first I'm gonna go BRB for just 1 second because I need to get more water. Right back. Alright, I'm back. Okay, wait, hold on. The game is muted, but I have the, I turned the audio on. Oh wait, never mind. Thought the game was muted. Ooh. Come on. Really, you've been here for ages. Behind the dock workers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. Squint. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it. In the spring, it's still too cold outside. Do I have anything that increases perception? I do. Ooh, those look good too. Oh. Yep. You don't stand a chance, Titus. And window. Okay, hold. Just in case this fucks up like last time, and I do something horrible. Okay, everything's fine. Keep thinking I forgot to do something. Alright. Look out the window. There we go. Can't hide from my frog hat. There's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches. Light yellow faded with time. A tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket. Hanging from it is a bronze key. It's close enough to the latch up there. One can just slide it open and just take it. Surely not a coincidence. Someone's hid a key in the bush. Huh? The big guy looks behind him. I need you guys to hand the key to me. And I need the fatty to get his feet amputated because the smell is killing me. We can't always get what we want. God damn it, Dennis, you know I can't help it. His whining voice is in deep contrast with his stature. Sorry, fucko, these guys won't help you. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. The hawthorn's got a bit you a bite. Gonna enjoy the sight of you in the bushes out there. With a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open, grabs the key from the hawthorn branch, and slides it across the table to you. You're a real one. Take the key. Key is brass. Workshop spares etched into its bow. Bow. Bow? The old man closes the window and sits back down in silence. Come on, man. We're just having some fun. Where's the harm in... I'm tired of listening to your shit. Thank you. Don't thank me. The old man takes out his pack of chewing tobacco. I don't give two shits about your key. There's a silence around this man's words. Unlike Titus, they're afraid of him. That's the type of respect he commands. Does anyone know why this key was hanging right outside the union box window? Didn't even know it was there. The man looks at the key in your hand, then around the room. Boys? No idea. Never even seen it, but someone must have hidden it there before this room became our place. When the doors it opens. Could open the door in the kitchen, the blue door. Look at the key in your hand. It says workshop spare me. There's a workshop there. You somehow connect the Rubin getting the roof? Your secret route theory? He shakes his head. You're grasping for straws, cop man. Why'd she put it back if it's hers? Little wisdom from old Titus. Not everything's connected to one thing. Keys just lie around. It's a messy world. Said without aggression. It's genuine advice. Well, it's probably not it then. Anyway, taking on that stupid hat. Putting on this stupid hat. Excuse me, sir. You see a heavy sealed door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. Could be connected to the barred door upstairs. Maybe. Try the key. The key fits the dimple lock. It takes a bit of effort to turn it after all these years, but then the lock clicks. Dust rises before you like mist. A tomb haunted by regal spirits from distant ages. No, it smells like engine grease and cut wood. A workshop. Workshop. A workshop. Close the door on her, cop. These arcade machines? Hell yeah, Franco-Nigerian pinball. White Dior, oh god. And B, the spare key is tied to the bush outside the corner room window. Well, I gave it away. $5, nice. Over there in the corner, the pinball machine? Not just any pinball machine. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Gertie and the Mountain Goats. It's lit. You can't wait to get your hands on it. Kim, are you seeing what I'm seeing? The pinball machine? Lieutenant glanced at the machine. Gertie's Goats? A classic. Wait, you've played it? A little. Feels like a lot. Too much to play it again. Let's take a closer look. Oh, great. The lieutenant sighs. Cornelius Gertie and a Mountain Goats reads the golden lettering on top of the back box. There's a small column of text underneath it. The machine is coin operated. Get the game on, finger boy. Those flippers are ready. Lean closer and read the text. Above the painting of a mustached man climbing a hill, a column reads, inspired by the legend of Cornelius Gertie taking on the world's tallest peak, Corpus Mundi. The massive legend told that when the nation is in danger, heroic Gertie shall return and save his people. Check the playing field. The theme of the game is to explore Gertie's climb through the perspective of goats and to extend the mountain of the top of the mountain in a time of trouble. It's like a tongue twister. The peak of the mountain is at the top of the playfield. All the balls have small goat icons on them and represent the goats as they race up and down the mountain. Areas around the playfield represent Gertie's climb, places he was said to have camped, which the goats can discover. Get them to the summit. What's the goats? Indeed, think of them as balls. Okay. I got an achievement called Gertie Ball is Lit. That's nice. It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep 3 goat-faced balls in play with relative ease. With relative ease. There's a typo there. Go, finger boy. Feel sorry for the goats if they only knew what kind of guy old Cornelius really was. What kind of guy was he then? The kind of guy who uses the word savages a lot when recounting his travels. A masked nationalist. A racist mountaineer. An avid huntsman too, the lieutenant adds, who is often photographed in his dining hall surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies from every continent. That's not cool. He also hit his wife and kids, other people's kids too, sometimes pets, hateful little man. But you seem to be having fun? I'm pretty good at this. The game is definitely improving. The jolly goats are flying over the board, and although a few plummet to their deaths, you never felt left with less than 3. Suddenly, a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top of the board. This is where the balls need to go. Concentrate and aim for the narrow passage. Maneuvering a goat ball into a position for a perfect hit isn't easy. More fall to their deaths, but finally the opportunity presents itself. One of them gets through. Tiny hammer shatters something inside the machine, something glass. The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine starts filling with a thick, milky fog. Something's happening. Well, congratulations, the lieutenant nods. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting more money out of the players. A stupid, nihilistic finale. There's so much fog you can barely see anything. Some is actually leaking out of the machine, and one by one your goats start slipping, disappearing into the milky nothingness. This can be navigated. The balls leave an almost imperceptible disruption in the fog. Use them to calculate where they hit next. Oh shit, dude. Down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but the goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him back from the jaws of death. I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You'll eventually make a mistake and it's all over. Oh my god, this is terrible. It's a reaction speed check. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't have anything debuffing that. Dude, next time I play this, I'm going high on motorics. There's so many fun checks that I just keep failing because of. I need to put more into hand-eye coordination. What the fuck am I doing? I got lodge off for that specific stat. Stay on the ball. How if you can't even see it? Last goat plunged into the fog with almost suicidal glee. There goes nothing, finger boy. Machine is dead and silent and needs serious maintenance before anyone can play it again. Shit. Technically. Titus, can you hand the key to me, please? I'm not your janitor, cop. He glanced at the window. I don't even know what you're talking about. There's nothing there. Okay, yeah, I just need to... Stop fucking about. Is this cheating? Yes. Okay, I'm going to make a hard save. Cheetor. I don't know if I have anything for reaction speed. Ooh. The thing I forgot to put on. Actually, that was the reason I had it at 3 to begin with. Good grief. Alright, well, at least I can... Yeah. The small elevator is dimly lit by a bulb that's been glowing for ages. The latticed cage is open, inviting you to step inside. Look in. It smells of nougat and sweat. Your head brushes up against the ceiling. There's a control panel to your right and just enough room for 2 people to fit in. Maintenance car in the control panel reached last maintenance 10th of July 88. The elevator controls. There are large rectangular buttons, Monteur, Descender, and International Call for Emergency Assistance. The third one appears to be broken. Small steel plaque reads Halter 800. Halter is a Steiner lift company who went out of business a long time ago. It says last maintenance was 88. And it does, the lieutenant peeks in. I say let's brave it. 88. This elevator was maintained a long time ago. In the last century, he nods. Look on the bright side. If it fails, we will only sustain minor injuries. We're talking 3, maybe 4 months in the hospital, maximum 5. I wonder what this elevator was used for. Sounds like a small freight elevator for transporting machinery. For that, it's pretty quaint. He taps on the guttering light bulb. It's golden in the dark. Alright. Hey, we didn't die. Ooh. This is where they brought faulty pinball machines to fix them up, a long time ago. Everything's covered with dust now. Lieutenant looks around the dusty, crowded room, inspecting the tools on the shelf. There used to be a pinball workshop. Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are machines left over. He taps his foot. A creak, some dust falls off a shelf. Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door, one of them even works. I've seen one of the Harriers banging away at it. Then it went bankrupt. Your skin crawls from making the connection. Looks like they gave up on fixing the pinball machines at some point. At some point, 20 years ago, 15 maybe, before pinball went out of vogue. Does this mean the Whirling Rags really is part of the Doom commercial area? If that's true, then our cafeteria manager's not going to like it. He looks around. We should tell him that what we found up here, admitting that suspicion. He does not appear to be the kind of man who likes his establishment to be part of a neighborhood ghost story about bankruptcy. It's not a ghost story, it's a curse, and Garty got to be made knowledgeable so he can perform counter spells. Ooh, footprints. Footprints in the dust. You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust covering the woodshop floor. Jackpot. The lieutenant takes out his notebook. These, unlike everything else here, are new. Someone's been here within the last week or two. 3 weeks maximum from the dust coverage. Could easily have been 1 week too. You know, officer. He looks at you. This is good. He likes it. And that's a little smile there in the dark of the workshop. It was a stereo investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation. No, it was a stereo investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation, adding a new fact to consider. Okay, what does that mean? It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route leading to the roof, from where you can shoot our victim. This is significant. These prints, officer, could be the prints of our killer. Let's have a closer look then. Large prints most likely made by boots. The size is hard to determine. The sole could be bigger than vamp. What does that mean? The soles have left a pattern in uniform horizontal lines. One person's been here, they've gone back and forth. The tips point both ways. Print is unlike one left by a rectangular worker boot. It's not a brand sole with logos on it. It seems it seems custom made or old fashioned. Shoe size is 41 or 42, maybe 43. Could be a large-footed woman or a small to average-footed man. This is unfortunately the worst, most vague shoe size there is. Of course. Damn. Prints look like one person went back and forth. Between that, he points to the elevator doors in the corner, and that, he points to the barred door. I keep putting the wrong intonation on these things. This print doesn't look like the odd-soled print we found at the hanging, Kim. He inspects the tracks closer. The size looks about the same, actually. Not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. It doesn't look like the worker's boots from the hanging, does it? No, these little horizontal lines are different. They look custom-made to me. Some kind of foreign print? Hard to say. Still a boot, though. Everything around you is quiet. The prints crisscross the workshop floor. Let's move on. Tiny hole in the wall. You see a bedroom on the other side. Oh, and that's Clousy's room, actually. You can almost see the shape of a man and a woman. Writhing inside, bathed in drug sweat and dirty linens. Bottles lie around everywhere. You can see the Clousy's bedroom from here. He leans close to inspect the peephole. You can barely see through. Better not jump to sensationalist conclusions here. The footprints on the floor, however, points to the marks nearby on the floor. Definitely suspicious. Boring footprints. I want to jump to sensationalist conclusions. What are those two people doing in there? Leaning close to the peephole instinctively. But they're doing something quite unnatural there. Sensationally unnatural. Finished thought. This is the inside of the barred door you've seen before. So what's on the other side? Unless we veered off into a folded M dimension, I'm guessing we I'm expecting to step out on the roof. We could ask Clousy about this route, see how she reacts. Yes, it's quite likely that we will re-emerge on the M plane, brace for psychokinetic impact or the roof. Unbar the door. Hello again. The door there. Did you know it leads to a downstairs elevator? She looks to the door. Suddenly her eyes widen. Oh, you think Ruby could have gotten in that way? To the roof? She could come up through there. It's possible. He's looking at the door with a worried expression. The wind ruffles her hair. There are tracks on the floor. They're recent. This lady's been smoking the same stick for days. And the same cup of coffee. Oh, this isn't good. She strays a stick suddenly. Feels like quarry encircled. Her eyes dart to the door. It's an old pinball workshop. The room back there, this place used to be a pinball arcade. Okay, I'm glad someone's had fun. I'm not gonna mention the people. Lost in thought, eyes narrowed, forehead furrowed. Something's bothering him. How's the time? Could probably go for another 10 minutes or so. But I think I want to play some suzerainty. Yes. Civilization board game where you choose the nation set up to colonialize and exploit other cultures. A star shape known in the box proclaims that the game now includes a completely new genocide option. Oh, so it's Stellaris. Cool. In your hands, you hold a brand new copy of the game Suzerainty. It's snugly wrapped in a skin of plastic. The cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass of grooming laborers loading goods into a ship while a richly dressed administrator oversees their work. The exact location and time period are left deliberately vague, but it's clearly meant to represent the economic relationship between the Revacholian suzerainty and its many vassals. Shake the box. The box has a nice heft to it. You hear the rattle of individual wooden tokens and feel their weight shifting back and forth. What treasures wait in store for you? Even before you open it, you can tell that this will be a meaty game of grand strategy and complex player interactions. Let's get it open. Plastic wrap rips off as easily as a bow dice and a tawdry historical romance. Open the box. There's a hiss as the lid slides off. Inside you find a thick, full-color rulebook and more than a dozen pouches of various wooden components. Save that new board game smell, a mix of wood, paper, and ink, all wrapped in the sweet must of cardboard. Read the rulebook. Welcome to Suzerainty, a game of economic strategy for the whole family. The rulebook is sumptuously illustrated the rulebook is sumptuously illustrated and as thick as a Gradian novel. Finally, a proper game to teach children about the importance of trade in the global economy. The colorful illustrations depict cheerful workers picking apricots, hauling marble sculptures out of crumbling temples, and harvesting a strange magenta leaf plant. Everyone is smiling. Purple cocaine? Keep reading. The instructions are opaque at first and introduce many concepts you're not familiar with. Fortunately, there are many diagrams and examples throughout. You soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player represents an administrator for the suzerain of Revachol. Your objective is to increase the suzerain's wealth and renown by accumulating victory points. How do you accumulate victory points? That's where the suzerain's vassals come in. The game features 4 vassal nations, each one home to an economically important resource. Each turn, the player collects resources from vassals where they've placed workers. They may then rearrange their workers, fulfill contracts for coin and bonuses, or build structures back in Revachol. As you leaf through the pages, your eye catches on a sidebar labeled Advice for Beginners. Read the advice. Remember, there are many paths to victory in Suzerainty, but successful players will find one strategy and commit to it wholeheartedly. Boring, boring, boring. Tear up this rulebook and commit some old school atrocities. How's the winner determined? The actual scoring system appears infinitely complex with a series of tables and appendices required to compute each player's final victory point total. You skip that part for now. Fuck the suzerain. What about my wealth and renown? There is no path to wealth and renown but through the suzerain. As one of your suzerain's trusted administrators, your very function is the glorification of Revachol. That's where the suzerain's vassals come in. The game features 4 vassal nations. Examine the components. You open up a number of pouches containing wooden tokens. There are also several punch boards with other cardboard components that will need to be punched out before you can play. Punch out the cardboard pieces. Each cardboard token makes a satisfying ch as you pop it out. Soon a neat pile of cardboard coins and counters is accumulated before you. What, you're not going to offer to let me punch any of them out? Aw. Check out the wooden tokens. In addition to the worker and building tokens used by each player, there are also several piles of colorful resource tokens, each representing one of the game's 4 principal resources. From the Empire of Safri, orange Capricot tokens. From Ile Marat, the ancestral name of Ilmara, gray marble block tokens. From the Semini Islands, white sack of sugar tokens. And from Super Mundi and Sarah Marizia, magenta tokens for unprocessed cocaine leaves. Oh, these are nice. The Lieutenant picks up a sugar token and admires it. You want to play? Lieutenant looks over the rulebook before he sees something that makes his eyes go wide. Holy shit, the average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours? I'm not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game. Eh. Okay, not a lot going on there. Ooh. Last time I went on for one of these, it didn't go well. Hold on. Hey. Shirt? Oh, fuck. Whatever, I'll reload the save. What, does the Lieutenant hate fun? Is he the fun police? Who died and made you the fun police? The Lieutenant gives you a sour look. He may or may not hate fun, but either way he does not appreciate your attitude. Aw. Well, I can try it again. What do you mean, shirt? That shirt, that reduces it. No, there isn't. That reduces suggestion. I'm looking at every shirt here. I thought we were saying this reduced suggestion, but no. Whatever, reload the save. We'll get it again. Ow, you fucker. Actually, oh, you can just ask again. Hold on. What is detective work if not an elaborate game? You need logical inference, attention to detail, the ability to analyze your opponent's motives. Come on, it might help us think of more creative solutions to the case. I do feel like my thinking has become somewhat rigid. Maybe a little diversion to keep the mind limber. It's just what's in order. See, he's doing the hard work himself. All I need was a little nudge. Alright, you've convinced me. How do we play? I think actually if you fail twice, he just decides to do it on the third, if you ask the third time anyway. I read the rules already, I'll show you. You explain the basic set of procedures to the lieutenant, who seems to be in a quick study. You each take your bags of tokens and counters and unfold the board between you. The center is the town of Revachol, radiating outward at her colorful vassals, each one supplying some raw material desired by the suzerain. Apricots from Safri, archaeological treasures from Elia Marat, sugar from the Semini Islands, and magenta cocaine from Super Mundi and Sarah Marizia. There's also a neat little log to keep track of your progress in case you need to put the game away and return to it later. Lieutenant goes first. He draws a contract card and moves several of his workers to the Safri territory of the board, and the others to the Semini Islands. Alright, detective, your turn. You have a few options available to you. Will you try to fulfill contracts right away or rearrange your workers to maximize protection on future turns? Unless you strategy early on and stay committed to it. I'm gonna let your workers rest. Well, it's the very beginning of the game. Your workers haven't even done any work yet. Okay, make them work a little, but not too much. That's more like it. You produce a handful of archaeological treasures and a smattering of other resources. Meanwhile, the lieutenant spends 2 of his sugar and 1 of his apricot tokens to complete his contract card. He's rewarded 4 coins and a round wooden token that he placed in the center of the board. That's a market. It's worth 2 victory points. Why didn't I get one of those? Don't worry, it was mostly just luck. You learned some points soon enough. What's that patronizing tone? You're one of the suzerain's trusted administrators. You may need to put the lieutenant in his place. I'm not even sure what points are. That's part of the problem. Points are nothing. They don't exist. They're just an arbitrary convention the game uses to reward or punish players for certain behaviors. Am I getting points right now? Lieutenant shrugs. There are some paranoid types who believe the moral intern keeps detailed score sheets for everyone in the Riel belt. But that's obviously nonsense. Otherwise, no, there are no points. Just your actions and the consequences of those actions. That's reassuring. That's just the way it is. The lieutenant doesn't seem to find much value in dwelling on the subject. I believe it's your turn. Glancing over the board, you see several possible strategies. Pressing more workers into service would increase your economic output and help you survive as a possible conflict with the lieutenant. Or you could ignore your labor supply and focus on fulfilling contracts for points and resources. What do you do? Press more workers into service. Using your powers of persuasion, you convince more workers to join your cause. After several turns, your worker tokens greatly outnumber the lieutenant's, a vast army of expendable labor at your command. Gaze on your workers like a harsh but proud deity. Too bad investing in your workers isn't worth many points. What do you mean? Take a look at the scoring tables in the back. The lieutenant turns to one of those appendices you skipped over earlier. You see in table 8C that investing in territorial infrastructure multiplies your final victory point total by 1x, which is to say not at all, whereas erecting monuments in Revachol gives you a multiplier of 5x. So you're saying I should treat my workers like disposable labor instead? Yes, precisely. Now it's the lieutenant's turn to respond. He moves aggressively onto the Soffer territory. Soon his workers are producing a steady supply of extremely valuable apricots. How can you let the lieutenant dominate you like that? You need to hit back and hard. For several turns, you struggle to respond to the lieutenant's burgeoning apricot empire. Eventually, you relocate the majority of your workers to Supermundi and Sarah Marizia, where they begin producing a bumper crop of cocaine tokens. You draw a new contract card. According to the text, there's an aristocrat willing to trade a large supply of cocaine for a number of coins and access to a rare bonus. Amplified music worth 7 victory points. Oh yeah, baby. Cocaine and rock music go together like cocaine and rock music. You know, this isn't unlike the situation the historical Revacholian suzerainty faced in Sofri in the middle of the last century. Tell me more. Well, the suzerain was looking for new markets for all the cocaine it was producing and settled in Sofri. By introducing cocaine into the Sofri under exclusive contract, the suzerain created an extremely valuable captive market for an extremely addictive product. What does that have to do with the game? If you could somehow get the lieutenant's workers addicted to your cocaine, you could not only make them less productive, you would also force the lieutenant to pay you for your cocaine tokens each turn. Can you even do that? Yes, you can. It's right there in the rules. Now's your chance. Show the lieutenant what happens when he patronizes you. You know what? We're gonna get them all addicted to cocaine. Sorry, Kim, you're not gonna like this. The lieutenant's face goes stony as you take your turn. He does not appreciate you getting all his workers addicted to cocaine. With each passing turn, you slowly bleed the lieutenant of coins as his own workers become less productive and more depending on your magenta cocaine tokens. As a matter of historical fact, this is almost exactly what happened in Sofri. To this day, fully half of the former Sofri Empire remains dependent on international aid in exchange for a steady supply of cheap produce. Just like they did to Sofri. More or less, the lieutenant says, but he's thinking less about the matters of historical wrongdoing than how to get out of the jam you put him in. Realizing victory is slipping away, the lieutenant launches a desperate gambit: protectionism. By erecting tariffs on your cocaine, he hopes to starve you out of the market at the risk of incurring the suzerain's disfavor. The endgame is upon you. Do you escalate the trade war with the lieutenant in hopes of crushing him with your economic might? Or do you ignore his aggression and focus on building the mighty victory column structure in Revachol herself? Alternatively, you could throw the whole game away by trying to build a public education system for the children of your workers. The choice is yours. You know, we'll do that. There's a reason very few players ever attempt to build a public education system for their worker tokens. It's extremely expensive and never pays off by design. Your boondoggle nearly bankrupts the suzerain's treasury, and you suffer a significant penalty to your final score. Ouch, the lieutenant says, cringing at your spectacular failure. Hey, you taught me the points are arbitrary. I decided to play the game how I wanted instead. Lieutenant opens his mouth as if to issue a blistering retort and then hesitates. You know, Detective, there's something admirable about that in its own way. Now, let's tally up the scores, shall we? Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. You each spend an inordinate amount of time making stacks of coins, consulting tables, and struggling with the basic addition and multiplication. After double and then triple checking your math, you have your final score. -5 victory points. You'll be lucky if the suzerain doesn't have your whole family executed for such a pitiful performance. Lieutenant looks up from his tabulations. I've got 20 points, he says, slightly embarrassed at the boy differential. Well, there's always next time. Figuratively, I mean. There's no way we have time to play this game again. Now let's clean up and get back to work. Damn. Last thing we're gonna do. Unlock this. Fair weather T500. Really hurts to punch this armor. A sword wouldn't even leave a scratch. A bullet would bounce right off. Still, there must be some flaw in it that would allow you to stand your ground against this dangerous enemy technology. You just have to figure out what it is. Possibly by beating yourself while wearing it, shooting yourself. Let's see. Just casually kicking the shit out of myself. Really? I don't know if there's a way to beat him. Also, I think the only piece of the armor we're missing is the helmet, which you don't get until the end game. So, doing good. Hour and a half. Yeah, I think we're good for today. Especially since my voice keeps failing me. I don't know why. Thank you all for coming today. Good night. God bless. We'll see you some other time. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Who even knows? Time is an illusion. Ooh.